Guys, what's happening? Hope you're doing well. Today in the video, we are showing off my Charizard EX deck build. Guys, BDF, definitely the best deck in format at the moment. 20% of players played it day one at Orlando and 18% of players played it day one at EUIC. Tord has absolutely opened the can of worms with this deck, along with people like Azul. And yeah, this deck is inspired a bit from both of their builds. And then, you know, I put a bit of spice in there that I like as well. Because, as I always say, you should never just copy a deck and play it. You should always have your own input on every deck that you play. Am I considering this for Stockholm? Potentially. Does it work on TCG Live? Absolutely. Guys, if you like this build that I've come up with, it's listed below in the description. Copy and paste it into TCG Live. Play a couple of games with it, you won't regret it. There are a couple of things that people might think, oh, that's a bit, why would you do that? Guys, try it, okay? Don't believe it's not butter, you know? You won't know until you try. Okay, so here we go. Starting off as the norm with 3 copies of Charizard EX as our primary attacker in the deck, of course. We're playing 1 copy of the 100 HP Charmeleon, and then 1 copy of the 90 HP Charmeleon, which has the Flare Veil ability. We are playing both guys because I do not like being de-evoed, and with having the 2 Charmanders, we don't always have to rely on finding rare candies, and if something like what happened to Johnny at EUIC, where you prize 3 of them, there's your out, guys, okay? You still have a game to carry on playing. All right. Also, late game, we don't want to have, you know, damage sprinkled across our board, de-evoed and then knocked out. Obviously, the Charmeleons add a bit of protection for that as well. We will be running 1 copy of the 70 HP Charmeleon for the Blazing Destruction ability, so we can discard a Stadium in play. I still feel it's quite relevant to have at least 1 copy of this because there are a lot of stadiums still getting played despite PAF to the Peak not being currently played. And guys, there's a lot of stadiums coming out soon which need just they need removing from play. Let's just put it that way. We're then playing 3 copies of the 60 HP Charmander with the Heat Tackle ability. You know, attack for 30 damage, put a Defiance Band on it, and you're good to go. Alright guys, so yeah, 3 copies of the Heat Tackle. And then, of course, we have Radiant Charizard for closing out the game. Support-wise, for our Pokemon is what we're going to go into now. We're going to play 2 of the Pidgeot EX, because we would not just play 1 copy. I'm being perfectly honest with you guys, I absolutely love playing 2 copies. I've even had a couple of games where I've just had 2 copies out and been able to get any 2 cards you want every turn. Can't beat it, guys. Can't beat it. Pidgey-wise, we are playing 2 copies of the Call for Family Pidgey from the 151 set. I wouldn't play any other version of this. Just in case you get stuck, guys, turn 1, you can always Call for Family. Obviously, normally we want a Rotom, which obviously is an ability, but if we go second, we're completely stuck. We can Call for Family and get set up and make sure that we don't lose turn 2. All right. We're playing 1 copy of Manaphy to protect our bench and all of our low HP Pokemon such as Charmander and Pidgey. Yeah, going forward from there, we play 1 copy of Rotom V and 1 copy of Lumineon V. Additional supporters. We also have a couple of ways in the deck to pick these up and remove them so they do not become liabilities or targets later on in the game. And then, of course, Tord has broke the mold and we're following suit because why not? A 1/1 line of the Beaver himself. It's always good to be able to draw until you have 5 cards midway through your turn and then not have to just rely on the Rotom V, because obviously instant charge ends your turn, whereas we can use Bibarel, draw till we have 5, and then if we are really stuck we can Rotom, but we shouldn't have to be using Rotom by the time we get Bidoof. We can use Rotom in the early game, so we can use Sealstone and then switch into using Bibarel and Pidgeot. So that's the Pokemon for the deck. Supporter wise, guys, we've gone very support heavy. We are playing 3 copies of Arven, 2 copies of Boss's Orders, and the reason why we're only playing 2 copies of Boss's Orders, because obviously with this build, as you'll find out in a minute, we're going with Prime Catcher, but also we've added in a supporter that allows us to get Prime Catcher back in Cyllene. I picked Cyllene over Palpad and Team Yell. People might think I'm a bit crazy because obviously we have to flip 2 coins, but we can get up to any two cards we want, and then put them back into our deck. Guys, why wouldn't we do that? Use Cyllene, put any 2 cards we want back onto the top of our deck, but barrel for them. We can go back-to-back turn Prime Catcher if we wanted to. If we need energy, if we need a switch, because we're playing Snorlax, Cyllene can help us get that. That's why I put Cyllene in the deck and I picked it over Palpad. People might absolutely slate me for it, but yep, I've put Cyllene into the deck. We have 2 copies of Iono, 1 copy of Professor's Research, so if our hand's completely dead, we can just redo our entire hand. 1 Professor Turo scenario, so we can pick up a liability here, obviously Rotom or Lumineon, or if we have a really heavily damaged Charizard, we can just pick it back up. And then Roxanne, one of the most underrated supporters I think in the game. Roxanne is just brilliant. I've even considered playing 1 Iono and 2 Roxanne, but this seems to work for now, so I'm going to leave it at that. Search-wise, guys, for our Pokemon, we are playing 4 copies of Buddy-Buddy Poffin and 4 copies of Ultra Ball. And as an additional search, we are playing 1 copy of Nest Ball. So that's our Pokemon search. Item-wise, of course, guys, it wouldn't be Charizard unless we played 4 copies of Rare Candy. So we have 4 copies of Rare Candy. We have 2 copies of Super Rod, 1 Switch, and I've mentioned it already, we are playing 1 copy of Lost Vacuum. I think at the moment, Lost Vacuum is essential to any deck in the current format. Definitely play a copy of Lost Vacuum if you're using Charizard. We can get rid of Hero's Cape, Maximum Belt. If we're playing Future Box, we can get rid of the Heavy Baton or Future Capsule. So yeah, play a copy of Lost Vacuum. We also have additional Gust. For the deck, we are playing 1 copy of Counter Catcher, and our ace spec is, of course, Prime Catcher. And we can get both of these back if we need to with Cyllene, which is obviously, it comes in clutch, guys. On TCG Live, when you pull it off, it's just fun. It's really good. Tools, we are playing, I've mentioned it before, Defiance Band, and we are also playing 1 Choice Belt. We're not playing Maximum Belt, so we have the space to play both. 1 copy of TM Devo, and of course 4 Seal Stone. We then play 1 copy of Collapsed Stadium, and then 6 Fire Energy for our energy for the deck. Guys, that's my Charizard list. I like it. It works really well. I will be taking it to locals this week, but I haven't told anyone that yet. So if you see me at locals on Wednesday, this is what I'm going to be playing. And yeah, have fun with it, guys. I played it on TCG Live on stream. It went really well. I even came back from a 6-1. I was lost on prize cards. I was losing 6-1 and ended up coming back with a win in the late game using Roxanne and Cyllene. Absolute clutch, guys. So yeah, deck's in the description below. Copy the deck, play it on TCG Live. Let me know what you think about the deck build in the comments below, or if there's anything that you would change. And I'll see you guys in the next one.